Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Adhim. I am a representative of our group to present to you about our lean canvas, and we are going to discuss about our own business idea, which we are map it into a lean canvas so that we can, yeah, I think it's beneficial for us, for in our team, to make a decision based on our lean canvas as well as finishing the assignment. So without any further ado, let's start to see about our lean canvas in BeliBund. So for our lean canvas, for the description of lean canvas itself, it is adapted from Alex Osterwalder's business model canvas, and it is optimized for the lean startup methodology with a big emphasis on finding customer problems worth solving. So we have learned about the business model canvas, but in order for startup, if we as a startup adopt the business model canvas directly, I think it would not be really efficient since it is not targeting the customer problems. But thanks to Lean Canvas, we as a startup or someone that really has a startup idea and wants to starting to figure it out, Lean Canvas it's really nice to start with. So yeah, for we have mapped our Lean Canvas idea in here, and this is the full coverage of it. But let's see in details. So the first part of our Lean Canvas, it is going to be addressing the problems. And we all know that the profit of UMKM in groceries field has been declining during pandemic era, especially for those who doesn't have online service or online platform, online presence. They are kind of lack with the marketing strategies in terms of digital marketing. So that's one kind of problem that UMKM experience in this pandemic era, since uh, the user tends to limit their mobility, limit of their offline presence. The shopping process mainly focuses on online presence. So that's the first problem that we have observed. And the second one is the people cannot find which UMKM, especially in grocery service, that are trustworthy for its products and services. Like, of course, we have Bukalapak, we have Shopee, we have Tokopedia, but it is not mainly designed, mainly created for the groceries things. But yeah, it is not purposely designed for that. In the other hand, these groceries are the main fuel in order for us to make our own food. So that's the demand and service is not quite compatible with it. And by addressing those kinds of problems, we already come up with our solutions in which we are introducing our digital platform, which is BeliBund, that helps UMKM to compete and market their groceries online and accessible to everyone to boost their UMKM initial profit even before pandemic. So that was our own solution and the problem that we have observed in the our environment. So what makes us stands out with our competitors, especially in grocery field e-commerce? Yeah. The first is we have some kind of GPS feature. This tracks nearby UMKM and couriers position easily. And the second is we are going to provide a rating system which helps the user to identify whether this UMKM is trustworthy or not. Also, in addition, we also plan to have a chat features. It is to ease the user to communicate with couriers and the UMKM itself. So to make the transaction process is clear, and yeah, it's just important to have that clarity before making that transaction. And after that, we also makes us stands out is the e-wallet system. E-wallet to make easier online transaction. Of course, it is quite similar with the OVO and GoPay, but it is uh, going to be implemented only in our BeliBund platform. We do have some kind of unfair advantage. We have we have cooperated with Dinas Koperasi and Perdagangan. Actually, this business idea is proposed. We proposed it to Dinas Koperasi and Perdagangan for us to be able to conduct some research for the pasar market, offline markets, and we kind of wanted to test our application in a social experiment like that. Just want to gather some evidence and some insights what we can get from the markets, and they allowed us to conduct some research. So yeah, we are cooperating with Dinas Koperasi and Perdagangan, and I think it's a great start for us to really, if we fully implemented this, I think it is prospective. So moving on to the customer segments, we do have some business idea. We have collaborated with the couriers and the Dinas Koperasi, but we also need to identify which are the customers, right? So mainly we are focused on the housewives, those who are 25 to 40 years old, ranged from that, and also for the millennial generation. Of course, they are savvy in the technology, and hopefully that they can make a good use of this grocery e-commerce kind of thing. And also for the UMKM partners, since they are heavily affected with the COVID, and we want to leverage their problem, we want to solve their problems also. So those customer segments, UMKM partners, courier partners, we are also include it into our customer segments. Moving on to the existing alternative, of course, we have already have some alternatives in e-pasar. So in our proposal KMIPN, actually, we addresses the difference between us and them. Especially in e-pasar, they already have some affiliations, but the data, the information is not synchronized with the offline condition. So that's the one thing that we want to solve right there. And also for the design is quite, yeah, the design itself is just fine, but I think we could improve it. And also it doesn't have a feature of GPS tracking. So we are kind of amati tiru modifikasi from e-pasar. So we want to solve their problems, existing problems, and we want to see the problem in existing alternatives. So yeah. And what are the parameters? What are the key metrics of our successful business? The first is going to be the amount of UMKM partners that joins the platform. Like, of course, we do hope that it exponentially increases throughout the time. But yeah, that's one of the key metrics. And the second one is the amount of transaction per day. This is really important since we can have a lot of UMKM partners, but what does it mean if we don't have any transaction? So yeah, by defining these two really important matters, the first matter is as an indicator that our application or platform is really good and really accepted by those that are our key partners. And for the second one, the amount of transaction per day indicates that our application or platform and our service is accepted by the people. By the people itself. And for the really simple definition of what we are creating, the high level concept, yeah. Actually, this BeliBund is an e-commerce that helps UMKM to compete and market their groceries online, and it is going to be accessible to everyone to boost their initial profit before pandemic. So before pandemic, of course, there has a huge sales, and since it is affected by the pandemic, we want to recover like that. And in order for us to realize this idea, we really need to pay attention on creating an advertisement on Instagram, Facebook ads, and also through the Dinas Koperasi and Perdagangan, since we already approved by them. And we predict that our early adopters are, yeah, those that are supervised by Dinas Koperasi and Perdagangan. Our first research was on Pasar Ororo, and we directly asked the head of the markets, like kepala pasar di Ororo, and we are required to create apa semacam proposal begitu. And we propose that, and we are allowed to do so up to now. So it still continues, and we do hope that the early adopters are. It is going to be most likely from those UMKM that are supervised by Dinas Koperasi. And the cost structure, we do have some fixed cost and variable cost, but the definition itself, the fixed cost doesn't change with an increase or decrease in the amount of goods or service products are sold. And the second is the variable cost. It is a change as the quantity of the good or service that a business produces changes, like the amount of transaction. Of course, we take some percentage of the couriers and the UMKM, yeah, and the variable cost ranges from that. We also plan to make the revenue structure to be like this. We want to make a discount applied on some products, like maybe they buy a lot of, maybe the customer buy a lot of groceries from this UMKM. We do apply some discounts on that. Maybe buy one get one free, or minimum transaction. If you are buying with amount is minimal is 100,000, it will be a free delivery cost in Malang City area. So that's our revenue structure. And yeah, our team consists of these great my teammates, yeah, my great teammates: Arga, Diaz, Prawira, Yudha, Flasma, Veronicha, Hendryanna, and me myself, Muhammad Ilham, Adhim. So okay, we are at the end of the video. For those of you that seeing until the end, we kindly appreciate it. We appreciate that you listen to our business idea, the canvas model. And yeah, we do hope that it is insightful for some. And of course, we do hope that our BeliBund actually can be realized. Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much for listening until the end. Yeah, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.